Hello and welcome to lesson number 8. In this lesson we will add the image in the green bit, and if we look in our Photoshop file, well, we know what it's sort of gonna look like. It's actually gonna look a little different than this, but sort of similar. Alright, so let's get into it. So first of all, we need to add the image in our HTML, and by now you hopefully know how this works. We go to our green box, which is called image gray, because we're gonna make the image black and white later on. So in here I'm gonna enter this one down one line, and I'm gonna type image, enter, image slash, and let's pick the image that I made with my drone actually. And just like with these images, the image is way too big, and we will change this in our CSS. So in here I'm just gonna give it a title really quickly. You don't need to do this, I just want to stay a little bit organized. And now I'm gonna target the image. The box that it's in is called image gray. So I'm gonna type hashtag image gray space image, so that way we are targeting the image inside of the box instead of just the box. Curly brackets, and let's say height 80%. And I'm using 80% because the inner box that we use for the text is also 80%, so it should be around the same size. And by now you should know the drill. I'm gonna use the flex method to align the photo. So let's do that. We're gonna target the box this time, just the box. Image gray, curly brackets, flex, display type, flex, justify content, center, which did not work for some reason. Well, that's because I forgot one G. Now it does work. That stuff happens all of the time, and you just need to loop through your code for your mistake. That can sometimes take up a lot of time, yes. And let's also type align items center, and now it's also aligned vertically. Well, this is actually not the way I want to align this, because if I now stretch out the page, it is completely off its mark. So let's change the justify content to left, and now it sticks to the middle. So the only thing that I'm now gonna add is a little bit of margin on the left, and that way I'm gonna align it with this image. So let's go to the image, type margin left, and let's try 10 pixels. That nearly does it. A little bit more, 15 pixels. Maybe 12 is the right number. I don't know. This is just trial and error. No one is gonna look at it as closely as you are anyways. Yes, well, there we go. That looks right to me. So now comes the really satisfying part. We are gonna make this rectangle and this rectangle white, and that way it's gonna look like one thing. So let's first make this one white, and also this one. And now we only need to change the color of the text box. And look, there we go. No one will be able to see what is going on behind the scenes with all of these boxes. And it just sort of looks like it's all aligning itself magically. And that is the whole point. We have now put our image in the right position, but as I told you before, we were gonna make it a black and white image. That's why we called it image gray. And that is something you can actually do inside of CSS, which is pretty cool, I think. Here we targeted the image specifically, and underneath this we're gonna type filter, and then you can type contrast and give it a number. And if I give it a number that is higher than 1, the contrast will get higher, because 1 is like the default number, and everything above that, well, makes it more contrasty. And I think that 1.1, well, 1.1 is fine. Let's now also change the saturation, which is how colorful the image is. So saturation 1 would be normal. Let's make it 0, and now it's gray. And you can just play around with these values and do whatever you like. There is still one thing that I want to change, and that is the font type, because I don't like the text font right here. So because I want to change the font for the whole page, I'm gonna do that in the body, and we already had a body bit right here. So underneath here I'm gonna type font family, and let's choose a very standard simple font type, sans serif. And there we go, the font just changed to this minimalistic font, which looks a lot better in my opinion. That was this lesson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.